Hello everyone, C.H.D from AK3R here, and I am back with everyone's favorite unpopular K-pop opinions. I know y'all love this segment. I can tell by the hate comments y'all leave that y'all just love it and you live for it. So that's what I'm about to do. So let's talk. So recently an article was posted on Koreaboo, an article that Koreaboo translated, a Korean article that they translated, in which some critics were talking about the differences between BlackPink's overseas success and BTS's overseas success. A lot of people said that the article was biased. I see how they could think that because it came across as they were discrediting BTS, but it's not. I don't really say it was a discredit. It's more like a observation, a statement of observation. In the article, they basically said that on one hand, BTS is primarily popular overseas because they are incredibly active on social media, and on the other hand, they said that BlackPink was popular overseas primarily because of their music. And they talked about how BlackPink also has all this high quality content. People took it as a diss towards BTS music. I don't really see it like that though. I'll explain in a minute, but let's break it down a bit to my thoughts on that. So on one hand, you have BlackPink. BlackPink, as we all know, is groomed to be 2NE1's replacement group. I feel like YG knew from the get-go, months and months and months before they announced it, that 2NE1 was just done. They were done. So they got together and they worked and they put out BlackPink. Now, the downside to BlackPink is that they are not as well-groomed as 2NE1 was. And the reason I compare 2NE1 specifically is because 2NE1 is the only other girl group that I have known to be under YG. I'm sure he's had girl groups, but the only one that I've experienced is 2NE1. With BlackPink, there's no one in the group really has a specific role. Other than yes, these are the rappers, these are the singers. The rappers can sing to a point. I'm sure the singers might rap here and there if they need to. Everybody dances pretty well. Some members can speak different languages, but unlike 2NE1, the difference between them and 2NE1 is that unlike 2NE1, let me say this. 2NE1, all four members were groomed to be soloist just as well as group members. Each member of 2NE1 had a specific skill set and a specific image that worked really well on its own, but it was made even stronger when those four girls came together as a group. BlackPink doesn't really have the same strong image that 2NE1 had. Another downside is their music. 2NE1's music is pretty unique to 2NE1. 2NE1, I'll say this, their music was made for them, by them, most of the time, for them, by them, and only for them. You couldn't really envision anyone else other than 2NE1 putting out the types of songs that they put out. BlackPink's music and their image is intensely 2NE1 influenced. Yes, YG has other female artists under his label, but Lee Hai and Soohyun from Akmu, but those two girls were already, their images had already been pre-developed before they even came into YG. They already had their images, they already had their styles. YG has only really shown us groups. They've only really shown us the YG made artists. The only ones that we're really aware of is 2NE1 and BlackPink. BlackPink, unfortunately, isn't as well groomed as 2NE1 in terms of image and in terms of music. Most of BlackPink's songs, to a lot of fans, just sound like leftover 2NE1 songs that never got released, or songs that were made with the influence of 2NE1, which it's really hard. And I will say, and they are right to an extent. BlackPink, to me, let me put it like this. There's still a lot of things that BlackPink lacks as a group. And as a result, YG has to promote them a lot harder than they would have to 2NE1. A lot of companies have artists that they can just put out, and the music speaks for itself. 2NE1, you could put out an album from 2NE1, and the music will speak for itself. YG won't have to promote it as hard because people will just genuinely love it. The music will promote itself. BlackPink, in the case of BlackPink, YG has to put in a bit more extra effort to promote their music. Obviously, because BlackPink is still, they still lack an image of their own, and again, most of their music is highly influenced by 2NE1. And so when I hear 2NE1's music, I'm like, this is 2NE1. This is only solely 2NE1 music. When I hear BlackPink's music, I'm just thinking this was obviously made by a YG producer. You know, this is the music of a YG producer. I don't think this is the music of BlackPink, you know? And so when people say that their music is popular overseas, I think more their music is popular because YG went out of their way to make sure it was popular, you know? And also it's more like, you know, 2NE1 is gone. A lot of the girl crush groups that made their debut are on the third generation, you know, 2NE1, 4 Minute, FX, Sistar, Miss A, all these girl crush groups from third generation K-pop, 2009 to 2011. Oh, and Secret too, and Tiara. A lot of these groups aren't there anymore. Well, Tiara debuted in 08, but close enough. Tiara second generation. But a lot of these groups aren't there anymore. And so like most people, they like BlackPink because they have to. You know, there's really no other girl group that's active. Like when I mean active, I mean like they have a comeback once or twice a year, every year. You know, there's really no other group that's active that is filling the shoes that the previous groups left behind. So realistically, yes, BlackPink is popular because of their music, but that's because the company marketed their music intensely. And yeah, it's BlackPink is popular because of YG Entertainment. That's really all I have to say. Oh, one more thing. This is no shade to them, but like if you look at my my I Hate BlackPink video, you will see that honestly, BlackPink, there's a lot of things that they lack, you know, rap wise, and singing wise, that they really need to work on. This is not shade to them. This is just like constructive criticism that they need to work on, you know? In the case of BTS, I don't necessarily think that the reporter was trying to crap on BTS's music, per se. BTS has always been an incredibly active group on social media. They're a fourth generation boy group. Fourth generation, that was from 2012 to 2014. BlackPink is a fifth generation. BTS has always been incredibly active on social media. A lot of the fourth generation groups, 2012, 2014, groups like GOT7, VIX, B2B, EXO, BAP, you know, they always, that time period, a lot of groups who debuted during that time did a lot of reality TV shows and YouTube series where they would show fans behind the scenes footage of their daily lives, you know, their schedules, or just amateur videos of them just going about their day. You know, you had the MTV Diary series, B2B Diary, VIX Diary, My Name Diary, JJ Project Diary, EXO Showtime, VIX TV, and of course Bangtan Bombs, you know. Bangtan Bombs got uploaded on a regular basis because I know there were some girl groups around at the time, but like there aren't that many fourth generation girl groups, with the exception of Red Velvet, that are still active these days. So pardon me if I don't mention the girl groups, but I'll get to that later in the video. They uploaded Bangtan Bombs on a weekly basis. You know, there was a point in time I remember where it was part of my daily schedule. You know, come home, do my homework, eat, and right before I would go to bed, I would always watch a Bangtan Bomb. You know, and there was a point in time, I will say, from the Boy in Love era up to the I Need You era, there was that time period between those two comebacks and every comeback in between, where BTS was immensely popular on social media. And when I say popular, I mean in terms of, you know, they were the source of a lot of K-pop fandom inside jokes. Vine was still active around this time. You know, there was a lot of BTS Vines going around, a lot of hilarious BTS Vines going around. I think the main Viners was a lot of BTS, EXO, and GOT7 Vines that were going around. But just a lot of hilarious content, a lot of hilarious memes, inside jokes. You got No Jams. Dub Smash was popular around this time. Just a lot of funny social media content. And yes, their music was growing in popularity, but you know, most of BTS that you would hear referenced, it would just be a lot of their social media activity. And that was a point in time where I liked BTS. I really liked them. You know, they were pretty funny, they were pretty cool. And I'd call them meme idols. You know, meme idols, they were the source of a lot of memes. Or Vine idols, you know. A lot of groups' popularity grew because of Vine. You know, Vine, the vines that existed at the time, in my opinion. Like a good example, Sehun's infamous "Shawty, I'm a Party Till the Sundown" was used in so many Vines. Oh, they did Sehun so dirty. But yeah, that's just an example. That was a time period where BTS was hugely popular. I think that was like 2014 to 2015, I believe. I could be wrong, you know. And yes, another moving on to, you know, more modern recent events. BTS has always been somewhat popular overseas, but the Billboard Awards is really what pushed them over the edge. You know, and this is a disclaimer, you know, this is the Billboard Awards. That is not the first time a K-pop group has won an award for social media activity in regards to their fandom. You know, a good example, Tiara, Billboard has this thing called Billboard Fan Army Face Off. It's basically just a competition to see who has the best fandom. And Tiara has won that about 3 years in a row. Tiara has won that competition about 3 years in a row. But they didn't gain any popularity in America because of it. I mean, yes, Billboard promoted them, but they didn't really gain popularity in America because of it. A lot of idol groups were nominated for like Teen Choice Awards, Kid Choice Awards, for these international fandom awards. There's also the European awards as well, European Music Awards again, where it's mostly fandom awards, social media activity awards, and a lot of K-pop idols were nominated, and a lot of K-pop idols won these awards. But not that many groups actually went to the award show. I do believe, you know, BTS actually attending the Billboard Awards was a major difference. Again, yes, they were the first idol group to attend the Billboards, the first K-pop idol group to attend the Billboard Awards. And I think if they hadn't attended, you know, then they wouldn't be as popular as they are. And the thing about them attending, it caused a huge craze. And I will say this is the same craze that we saw when Justin Bieber was coming up, when One Direction was coming up, when any attractive young male idol group, whether it's in Korea or it's an American boy band coming up, they cause that same trigger wave because people just see, who are these attractive boys? Where'd they come from? Are they a group? Are they artists? You know, so a lot of people were like, who are these attractive dudes all of a sudden? And, you know, and that really caused a second wave. You know, a lot of new people getting into K-pop, a lot of new people like, who the hell is BTS? And, you know, honestly, and I'm just going to say, if it wasn't for BTS's, yes, their social media activity, but it's also their looks. You know, again, in the music industry, especially the American music industry, you are almost guaranteed success if you go the route of young teen male idol. You know, where a lot of your fans are young teenage girls. You know, or not even just teenage girls, just like girls in elementary school to middle school, in early high school. You know, a lot of young girls. You know, if you go that route, it's kind of guaranteed that you'll be successful. And BTS kind of fell into that same trap. They fell into that same trap, and I do believe that is what kind of helped them push them over the edge in terms of American popularity. Because if it wasn't for the Billboard Awards, we wouldn't really hear BTS's music on the radio. I do believe the Billboard Awards is the primary reason why we hear their music on the radio. And yes, it did get them into America, but I think one of the most important things that this article brought to light was, you know, the reality of the differences between the popularity of a boy group and the popularity of a girl group in K-pop, you know. And I will say there's no denying, for both groups, people love their music. Like, there is no denying that both groups have some pretty popular music. But what solidifies your legacy in this music industry, what wins you all these awards, you know, what wins you like the Michael Jackson Vanguard Award, the Lifetime Achievement Award, the Icon Award, what gets you in these music hall of fames, it's not just about having a popular song. It's, you know, it's the impact that your music has. Can it withstand the test of time? Will people be still singing your music well into their 50s? You know, can your fans exist in all ages? You know, and I think a good group, like a good middle ground group to compare these groups with is Wonder Girls. I was just rudely interrupted. So before I lay hands on a bitch, I'm just gonna change location and woosah. Continuing on. So, I say primarily Wonder Girls is because Wonder Girls really set the standard for overseas promotions, you know. The thing about Wonder Girls is that when Wonder Girls first became when they first gained major popularity overseas, you have to remember that Wonder Girls was JYP's first girl group, their very, very first girl group. And their popularity reached in overseas they became an internationally popular group in 2007, the same year they debuted. They were still rookies, and at the time JYP was still a relatively young company, very young. So they didn't have the luxury of being an attractive male idol group who can appease all these young screaming girls. They didn't have the same amount of funding and music video directors and music producers that BlackPink has. You know, they didn't have all of that. They had to make themselves popular for their music, and that's what they did. You know, people try to discredit their overseas promotions. You have to realize, though, that Wonder Girls did their overseas promotion during a time where K-pop wasn't relatively popular overseas. So what they were able to achieve in that amount of time was pretty successful. Yes, the records that they were able to set have since been broken. Yes, it was broken. But you have to remember, they were one of the very first to do it. The reason why BTS and BlackPink can become so popular overseas so easily and so quickly is because of artists like Wonder Girls, Girls' Generation, Psy, BoA, Rain, Seven, even Spica, you know, all these groups, and 21 and Big Bang too, all these groups became popular overseas because of their music, not because of their looks, not because their company provided them with money. And yes, I know Psy, 21 and Big Bang are all under YG Entertainment as well, but they didn't need the same amount of support that BlackPink needs, you know? So that's just something to take into consideration, you know. And what will solidify your legacy in the music industry is not just numbers alone. You have to remember, what solidifies your legacy is your music's ability to withstand the test of time. You know, will people still be playing your songs 10, 20 years from now? You know, is your music popular for people of all ages? You know, can 80-year-olds and 90-year-olds and can old people like your music? Can young people like your music? Will you guys get what I'm saying? You know, is your music good enough to get you into all these Hall of Fames, all these Lifetime Achievement Awards, all these Icon Awards, you know, all these major awards that go to all these legendary artists? Can your music get you there? You know, and in my opinion, BTS and BlackPink aren't at that point. Yes, they're popular, but their music lacks a certain level of impact. You know, because again, it's unfortunately their impact is mostly due toward their overseas impact. I'll say specifically, it's mostly due towards money and young screaming teenage girls. That's not shade, that's just an observation. So again, this goes to show you, and I will say another thing about, again, back to the title of this video, you know, it's boy groups versus girl groups. At the end of the day, this is just my wish, I wish K-pop fans, like I said in both my BTS, and I think I hinted it in my BlackPink video, people need to realize that. But back to the point of the video, y'all. You know, I would like for the K-pop fandom to get out of this mindset that K-pop is divided into boy group stans and girl group stans. You know, I'm an old head. Yes, I came into K-pop many years ago. But when I came into this fandom, K-pop wasn't separated on. The genre wasn't guy groups and girl groups. No, you just liked the music. You know, at the end of the day, K-pop became popular because of the music, not because of the gender of the idols. You know, boy groups have a specific, people love to say that boy groups are somehow more unique than girl groups. No, you just are too busy looking at their looks to notice the stuff that a lot of boy groups do. You know, a lot of boy groups nowadays do a lot of hip hop concepts, a lot of I'm a manly man. You know, and there's the occasional, and out of all the boy groups, there might come 1, 2, or 3 cutesy boy groups that only do cutesy stuff. You know, people won't talk about how people are quick to talk about how they're tired of all these cutesy concepts from girl groups, you know. Yet when you have groups like Boyfriend and groups like Astro, where most of their discography is this cutesy stuff, no one has any complaints though, because they're guys, and they're too busy fawning over Oppa's good looks to care about the diversity of his music. And also at the same time, you know, a concept is just a visual. Concepts are, at the end of the day, are just visuals. Concepts play no part in the genre of the song. You know, I can take any song and put a completely different concept on it and take basically, let's explain it like this, you know. Tiara. If you aren't watching a Tiara music video, you would assume that Tiara's music is your typical bubblegum pop. But yet when you look at Tiara's music videos, their music videos are nothing like what you expected the song to be like. But no one comes at Tiara for cutesy concepts though. You've never heard anyone complain that Tiara does that Tiara does cutesy concepts. So the thing applies to Twice too. If Twice just switched up the concept for their music video, I highly doubt people would complain about them always doing cutesy stuff in the way they do now. At the end of the day, you know, the genre and the concept are two different things. Literally, the only thing a concept is just how. Only thing a concept really does, it just adds a visual element. So when people say I don't like cute concepts, so you're saying you just don't like the visuals. So that's one thing I want people to take into consideration as well. You know, boy groups, like, you can easily take an aggressive sounding song and give it a cutesy music video. That's one thing that a lot of Asian music tends to do. You know, I would just say people need to, I really wish the fandom would have less shallow reasons for liking K-pop, because that's not why K-pop became popular. K-pop became popular because people genuinely enjoyed the music, not because they liked the genders of the people doing it. You know, I don't like when someone says I don't like girl groups because girl groups all do the same thing. They're basically just saying I like to stare at pretty boys all day, because honestly a lot of boy groups do the same thing as well. Just saying. So that's my video. If I went on tangents, I am so sorry. I've been trying to make this video for the longest, but you know, I get so mad and just so frustrated that I just give up. But I want everyone watching this video to just remember, you know, K-pop did not become popular solely and only because of the guy groups. You know, to all my female fans out there, please don't complain about how female artists don't get enough recognition in the industry, and you're one of the contributing factors as to why they don't get enough recognition in the industry. I'm just saying, you know, a concept, again, like I said, a concept is just the visual aspect of a song. It's just the visual. I have a really annoying ass pimple that's been bugging me all fucking day. Ooh. But the concept is just the visual of the song. It in no way, shape, or form has anything to do with how the song is composed and the way that it's sung. You know, like I said with Tiara, a song can be given any music video, and it'd still be the same song. It would still be the same song. So guys, please don't make K-pop shallow. Please don't. There's more to K-pop than just looks. There's more to K-pop than just visuals. There's more to K-pop than just boy groups. There's more to K-pop than just girl groups. There's many different sides of the genre, and I hope that at some point in time it won't be just a constant battle between the generations, you know. Anyways, and also listen to older groups as well. These older songs are popular for a reason. They're popular for let me remind you, these are the songs that made K-pop popular. Anyways, y'all, I'm C.D. from AK3R. Someone's playing annoying. A little side tangent. Before you say that BTS and BlackPink made K-pop that they did today, I know I'm repeating myself a little bit. Do your history, because they did not make K-pop what it is today. They're not opening any doors that were already open, that hadn't already been opened by older artists. I'm just letting y'all know. I'm just stating that right now. Like, they're not doing anything that hasn't been done already in terms of overseas popularity. They're riding on the coattails of their seniors who made it so that way they could do it. Anyways, I'm CD from AK3R. Subscribe if you want to see more videos. Follow me on social media. Links are in the description. Shout out to my co-hosts featured on this channel, past, present, and future. I'm CD. Goodbye.